the first and most important thing is what to take care in the first meeting. You go out and meet a person for the first time, you go out and meet him for the first time, and ultimately you want to interact with him. And what things you should take care in the first meeting is what we'll be talking about over here. And it obviously begins with building rapport. Now, when I talk of building rapport, the whole idea is that, what is rapport? The person should trust you that, okay, you are the person who can actually help him invest in the right property. And that's what we mean by saying that, okay, here is a person who I can put my 1 crore rupees and he'll be able to get or be able to deliver the best results for me. So that's what, in terms of building rapport. Fulfill any kind of formalities, be it in terms of maybe the forms that you are collecting, maybe the processes that you are following, or understanding the needs, wants, concerns, requirements is what we ultimately want to achieve. But in terms of formalities, maybe your franchise office or your broker owner has any kind of formalities, or your real estate board, say regulator in Gujarat or Maharashtra or India has any kind of regulation. So all of these regulations are ultimately to be determined and ensured that they are fulfilled in that particular scenario at that point of time. Apart from that, a very important thing is determining the previous home search efforts if he is a prospective buyer. You want to understand and know that how good or how effective the buyer has been, and why he has liked a certain type of properties and why he has not liked a certain type of properties. Asking him simple basic questions: which properties have you already seen? Which properties did you already shortlist? Which properties did you like? Which properties did you not like? And all these questions ultimately lead to an answer, or ultimately lead to a situation wherein you understand his type and his choice of properties, which can help you determine that, okay, this is the type of person I would want to work with, this is the type of person I would want to not work with, or this is the type of property I would want to own, or this is not the property I would want to own. So determining the home search efforts is really important, and it is a slow and steady process of asking the buyer few questions in a slow manner, in an effort to ensure that, okay, he speaks out his heart that, okay, I liked a certain X property, but my budget was not that much, or the property was overly priced, or why I didn't go for it, maybe my loan didn't get sanctioned on time. Stuff like that, ultimately to uncover his problems. Review your presentation packet. You want to understand and find out that, okay, when you go and meet the person, we'll talk about presentation packet in detail in the next few slides. But in the presentation package, you want to ensure that you are creating a good impression about you yourself as a real estate agent, about your franchise office as a office, what it has been able to achieve, what its strengths, what are its weaknesses, about maybe Remax as a company as to what all it helps and does for real estate consumers on a worldwide basis. Maybe you can also talk about small things related to the real estate sphere as to why a person should buy a property, what is good for him in what scenario. So we'll talk about that in detail, but ensure that your presentation package is always full and is completed in an effort to ensure that the customer gets a good impression about you as a professional real estate agent. Moving on, try an exclusive mandate if it's a seller. Now, we all know what are the benefits of an exclusive mandate, and it is a separate topic, obviously, why an exclusive mandate. But you should definitely go and pitch for an exclusive mandate, because exclusive mandate, once you get, you are getting the confidence of the seller from day one that yes, he believes and trusts that you are the right person to sell this property for him. Now what happens is that you are obviously able to advertise it better, you are able to reach out to more consumers, you are able to reach out to more customers, you are able to ensure that you are giving a better price to the seller for the same property. And that is what we want to ensure by ensuring that we get an exclusive mandate and we are getting a comfort level from the seller that yes, you are the right agent for me. Moving on, we want to win the buyer's confidence by understanding and identifying his priorities and motivations. So I talked about this, and I always remember this particular thing, that when you're talking to a real estate buyer, the whole idea is understanding his needs, wants, concerns, requirements, and what is ultimately leading to a decision making process. Who are the decision makers? Who are his priorities? Is he looking for a playground for his children? Is he looking for maybe an elevator in his apartment for his old age parents? What are his needs? What are his concerns? Why does he want to move to a certain X locality and not to a Y locality? Is the school near to his apartment is a prerequisite to him finding an apartment, or something else? So the whole idea is you need to find and uncover his priorities and motivations in an effort to ensure that you give him the right choice from the first property that you shortlist for him. You don't want to see a situation wherein you again and again are working with him to shortlist properties, and after shortlisting and showing him properties, he says that okay, I don't like this property because it is near away from my school, or I don't like this property because it does not contain an elevator. And that's where identifying priorities and motivations is your role, by wherein you are clearly defining all these questions in your mind, what you want to ask from him to take it forward. Moving on, pre-qualifying the buyer as to whether you want to work with him or whether you don't want to work with him. Now when I say whether you want to work with him or you don't want to work with him, it could be in terms of financial motivations, whether he actually has the capacity to buy an apartment in the budget that he's looking to buy, whether he has the capacity to pay your brokerage, if we are talking of brokerage from being receivable from the buyer, and you're also qualifying him in terms of his attitude, his skill, his nature, whether you are comfortable working with a person with the kind of nature and attitude that he has towards the overall real estate sales process. If you are not comfortable working with a buyer, and it's always good then that you can always say that okay, it's better to say no to a buyer whom you are not comfortable working with, or he's unrealistic, or he's asking you to do unlawful things. Then it's better to say no rather than saying something or working with him and not servicing him at that point of time.